Elizabeth Holmes was the world's youngest self-made female billionaire thanks to having built and become CEO of Theranos Inc, touted as a breakthrough health technology company in its infancy. However, secrets, lies, and scandals eventually plagued the company, bringing it to its knees. Don't forget to like the video and stay tuned as we follow the meteoric rise and fall of a company and its founder. Elizabeth Anne Holmes grew up in both the U.S. and abroad. She studied chemical and electrical engineering at Stanford University. She had a stint at the Genome Institute of Singapore, where she worked to develop a computer chip designed to detect SARS in the human body. While at Stanford, she also developed a patent for a device that could measure the effectiveness of medications in the body system. In 2015, based on a $9 billion value of her business, Forbes declared Holmes the youngest and richest self-made female billionaire in America. But as evidence of possible fraud in her company started to emerge the following year, Forbes reduced its estimate of her net worth to zero. Fortune even included her in its feature piece, The World's 19 Most Disappointing Leaders. From billions to zero in less than a year. At the age of 19, Elizabeth Holmes founded Theranos Inc. in 2003. The company raised more than $700 million from private investors and venture capitalists. The investor confidence led to a $10 billion valuation at the company's height in 2013. The name Theranos was derived from a combination of the words therapy and diagnosis. The foundation of the company's success was a process that was said to have revolutionized blood testing. Rather than taking vial after vial of blood, the machines invented by Holmes reportedly were able to run several tests from a mere drop of blood. The technique made huge promises from a finger prick. Holmes and her invention were so impressive that investors like Rupert Murdoch, former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, and even members of Walmart's The Walton family poured hundreds of millions of dollars into backing her. The blood tests were easily accessible to the public, available to purchase in drugstores across the country like Safeway. In order to provide blood tests for 800 stores with clinics, Safeway spent $350 million in 2012. But 3 years later, after numerous missed deadlines and dubious results from a trial clinic held at Safeway's corporate headquarters, the agreement was canceled. Meanwhile, in 2013, Walgreens jumped on the bandwagon, ordering tests for more than 40 of its stores. Both GlaxoSmithKline and Pfizer reportedly had patients using the tests for drug trials, but denied the claims in 2015. Despite a massive nationwide use of the product, no peer-reviewed study from Theranos has been published in medical research literature. This, according to a Stanford professor, John Ioannidis, in a Journal of the American Medical Association article in 2015. The professor was one of the first in the medical field to publicly criticize Theranos for its secrecy. That same year, a University of Toronto professor personally examined Theranos' technology and came to the scathing conclusion that most of the company's claims are overblown. Holmes desperately tried to undo the damage by inviting then U.S. Vice President Joe Biden to visit the company's facilities. Biden was reportedly very impressed during his visit, but little did he know that everything was staged. Holmes ordered a fake laboratory to be built specifically for the leader's visit. Later that same year, the Wall Street Journal reported that Theranos was secretly conducting its tests using standard conventional blood testing equipment, not the Edison device invented by Holmes. The article further revealed that the Edison device would produce inaccurate findings. The multi-million-dollar technology was worthless. Later, during her trial, it would be revealed that Holmes wrote a letter to Rupert Murdoch asking him to intervene and shut down any further reporting by journalist John Carreyrou. Note that Murdoch not only previously invested $100 million in Theranos, but actually owns the Wall Street Journal. Murdoch reportedly declined to stop the investigative reporting by the journalist. Holmes and Theranos were accused by the SEC of engaging in massive fraud by making false or exaggerated claims about the reliability of the company's blood testing technology. She settled the allegations by paying a $500,000 fine, returning 18.9 million shares to the company, relinquishing her voting control of Theranos, and finally, agreeing to a 10-year ban from holding any position of authority within a public company. By September 2018, Theranos informed its shareholders via email that it was closing. Promises were to use all remaining company funds to pay its creditors. During the federal trial, Holmes's attorneys attempted to have the entire case by the U.S. government dismissed. In February 2020, a court determined that patients who did not experience a financial loss would have their claims withdrawn. With a number of delays related to the worldwide health scare of 2020, Holmes's trial was delayed until March 2021. Over the course of 11 weeks in a California courtroom, prosecutors called a total of 29 witnesses to testify, including investors, patients, physicians, and even former Theranos employees. In contrast, the defense team called only 3 witnesses, one of whom was Holmes. On the witness stand, she admitted to deceiving her investors, hiding from them the fact that her company used standard, although modified, commercial equipment. She admitted to placing Pfizer's logo on documents presented to Walgreens to bolster confidence in her company. She confessed to hiring private investigators to track whistleblowing Theranos employees. The trial ended with a guilty verdict in January 2022 on 4 counts of fraud, each of which carries a potential 20-year prison term. She was sentenced to an 11-year, 3-month prison term on Friday, November 18, 2022. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be updated on our latest videos.